Bam.
Okay. Hi, everyone. SPR Sports Picks, hashtag Ask SPR. I'm Peter Loshak. His name is Mike Brenner. We are the odds couple.
Ooh, I feel like a boxer. I feel like a boxer that's just getting his ass kicked in and out, Pete. And I'm not kidding you.
Really?
You know,
well, you had to go out because you had a couple losing days.
Yeah, I had a couple losing days, but it's unacceptable to me, and I'm gonna turn it up, Pete.
You feel like a boxer who's getting his ass kicked, Mike Brenner.
Yeah, well,
have you seen my record? I feel like Ronda freaking Rousey right now.
Jesus Rousey. God, I wish you were Ronda Rousey right now.
All right, you took a couple punches. I'm getting demolished. But
I know, but I don't like it, buddy. And I know I can do better. I can be sharper. So I'm going to focus today. And I told my viewers out there, our viewers last night, that hey, from today until next Friday, especially on those power picks, I'm gonna make up for it. So
okay, well, overall your record is still positive in the NBA, in college you're doing okay. If it weren't for teasers, you'd still have a positive.
I knew that was coming.
But all right, so we got a big slate of NBA games tonight. Unfortunately, there were only 4 games that had overnight lines, so I only had time to look at the 4 games.
Okay, because they'll have to tune into the show later on. We will have some picks. I know
the other lines just came out. One game though that did have an overnight line that is, I'm sure everyone is thinking about, wondering about, is the Cleveland Cavaliers. They've now lost 3 in a row straight up and 6 out of 8 straight up, so they're in a bounce back spot now. But if they've lost 6 out of 8 straight up, that means they've been in 6 different bounce back spots and not really gotten it done most of those times. Now they're a 15-point favorite over the Nets, and the Nets are also 3-11 ATS over their last 4 games.
They're a mess too. But I don't know if you've read. There's a big thing going on right now with Dan Gilbert, the owner, and LeBron James. Here they go again. All right, this is what happened the first time. Gilbert said when LeBron re-signed, he said he wanted to make sure that there was unlimited sources to bring in the talent to build the team. He said no problem. Well, apparently he's not coming through on that, and LeBron doesn't like it. So I think you better look out. LeBron might personally explode tonight, because when that happens in the past, he has some of his best games. But he can't do it all alone.
Wait, LeBron is upset that
Gilbert's not putting the money necessary to get the he let Dellavedova go, $18 million, and LeBron went to bat. He wanted him, and he said they could have signed a couple key players. They didn't, and he's backing away from what he said when LeBron agreed to come back.
Listen, you got to.
They don't like each other. You got
to pay for talent. If you want talent, you got to pay for it.
That's the same guy. That's the same guy when LeBron left them the first time. Remember the big fire? The guy who was selling all of the LeBron stuff for like $1. Just deep down, they don't like each other, Pete. But it comes down to X's and O's and who's going to execute on the court. And I think Cleveland's going to get fired up tonight. But I'll leave it at that.
If you skimp on paying for talent in the short run, your bottom line goes up a little bit. Long term, you lose. Long term, you lose.
Ooh, baby.
All right. There? So what else do we got here? We got so what are you thinking? So it's a bounce back spot.
Yeah, it is. And then you got Miami going to Chicago today. So you got D Wade, who now, I don't know if you heard about that. Rajon Rondo went off on Wade and Butler. And he goes, and here's his words. Well, my veterans back in the day, my vets, they didn't complain. My vets, talking about Garnett, back, and Paul Pierce when they won the title when Doc Rivers with Boston. So Rondo is now totally isolated from this team. The coach, that team is a freaking mess. But does Wade go, okay, I'm going to take that personal? I think Wade, that might be a good prop bet tonight. Wade.
Dwayne Wade with just having a good game.
Having a good game.
Yeah. And then what's up with Washington?
Oh, Dennis, our producer. I thought you were going to say what's up with him. I don't know, that's a whole different story. I'll tell you about that later. Okay, that was a beat story there.
What is up with Washington? Atlanta has now. Washington is now covered, I think, 7 or 8 in a row ATS. Atlanta's picked it up recently in the last few games.
And then they got their asses buried the other day.
Yeah. So is Washington just an odd? Are they like the another version of Philadelphia right now, where you just want to bet on them every game?
You would think so. You would think so. If recent track records say anything, you would say yes. But Pete, I don't know, man. That Atlanta, they've been so up and down.
Yeah.
Budenholzer's not happy, so they might explode tonight. They might bury that team. My God, they might bury that team.
It's just hard to gauge when you see what happened against the Clippers 2 games ago with Atlanta. But Washington, they are seriously on an ATS.
And you know what, Pete? I got to say this because right now it's hard to call. That same Clippers team that did what they did to Atlanta went out and laid an egg the very next game. All right, so it's tough. People get mad when you don't hit everything. No one's going to hit them all. But we're depending on athletes that bring it some nights and don't bring it other nights. That was another thing Rajon Rondo said. He said, my vets brought it every night. They brought it to every practice. The vets here, they don't. They show up when they want to. And guess what? I think he's right with that. So you know, I scratch my head again. Win or lose, I go back in and find out what I can do better. What could I have maybe been sharper on? But you look at one situation, and then the next night it's like Jekyll and Hyde. You can't control that. It's hard to gauge that. So I got to learn to gauge it a little better.
All right. And then the only other game that had an overnight line was Memphis and Portland. Both those teams struggling ATS recently, so I have no real opinion on that one. And then there was a bunch of other games that didn't have overnight lines. And Mike Brenner, do you have any?
Am I seeing that line right? Or I don't have my glasses. San Antonio -6 at New Orleans.
Yes, San Antonio -6 at New Orleans. That did not happen overnight, so I didn't.
Right, we're gonna have to revisit that one in the show.
We'll revisit
Holy
that.
cow.
All right, so we will be covering all these games in our NBA odds couple show later on today. And then in college, a small slate of games, but I gave 8 different picks on tonight's card.
Weber State.
I guess the biggest one I would give would be, I guess it would be Weber State. It just, you know, maybe Idaho State will come to play somewhat competitively, but I think more likely they don't. And I took Weber State -16 and -9 on the first half.
You did. You pulled the trigger today, Pistol Pete. You had the balls. He said, "I'm not doing that anymore." Because Dennis, when we were at the beach, all the big balls plays that Pete was wanting to pull the trigger on and didn't, they all covered.
Including Santa Clara.
Including Santa Clara.
Against BYU.
Yep.
I
lost that one too last night.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
Right? They beat him out.
I know, and I wanted
to beat him out.
Yeah, they beat him out.
That was fucking real. This is a team lost by 30 points, but you had a great call on that. You should have pulled the trigger.
I know. Well, our next odds couple trip will be going to a balls factory where I will buy 2 years worth of balls.
Yeah, I got to get some now too.
We'll in fact, we're going to see if they have a balls factory in Costa Rica, and we'll try to have a Periscope from there, you know, this week. All right.
From the balls factory live. It's the odds couple.
Order up 2 years of balls.
What happens if you pull a trigger in a balls factory? What the hell happens then, right? Combustible.
Bad things. All right. So then we got so Weber State. I mean, Idaho State is the kind of team where like very, very limited talent, and they can bring it competitively sometimes in spots. When they go on the road against big teams, they can get easily blown out by 20, 30 points, and I think that's likely to happen here. So
by the way, great impressions yesterday, Cheech and John. My God, the Twitter guys loved it. Bro, that was brilliant. I didn't know you had all that.
Oh yeah, I can also do many of the women from the Real Housewives series.
Oh really? You watch that show?
No,
you better not be watching that show. You're not going to be able to crunch numbers watching that show.
I can do Ramona Singer pretty well.
Paid. Good girls get paid for that.
But all right, so that's my biggest play.
I've got Yale on the first half.
And that's the line that's got me scratching my head. Last week I gave on the show. Actually, I said that I thought Brown as an underdog might have some value. Now they're a 10-point dog.
A lot of places hanging 115. All right, if I'm correct for Brown.
Yeah, I mean it's 10, you know, 10 and 10 and 9.5. Yeah, no, there's some 9.5s. Yeah, 10. That's a total.
Okay.
Mike Brenner, but 10 and 9.5.
Well, I don't have my glasses on. I'm blind as a bat.
Again, the line has me scratching my head a little bit, but I think I don't see any reason to believe this one won't also be a relatively close game. Maybe Yale wins by 7 or something. But I'm going to take. I took Brown plus the points on that one, and that's about it. And so that's it for the Friday stuff. Do we have any questions?
I know you had a migraine headache. Buddy, and again, Rajon Rondo, this team is a mess. Fred Hoiberg, the coach, he doesn't know what to do. He's like, what did I think? What was I thinking when I left Iowa State? He wasn't thinking. All right. That's got so many dynamics. I think the best bet in that is a prop bet with D Wade. I have to stay off of both of that. That's just, man, I don't know.
The question is, did the other half of the puck heads, the other 1/3 of the puck heads, land that 10-point play? Did Scott Carter land a 10-point play?
My God, Scott Carter had a 10-pointer. Hell no, he lost it. He had a 10-unit play at -165. My notes are on my desk, but I think he lost it.
But that's all right. If you're just using a virtual bankroll, then you can just say, all right, next play is 25 units. Next play is 50 units. And if you're not using real money, you can just go up to 1 million units. And
but he's using real money, supposedly.
once you finally hit one of those 1 million unit plays, then you can say, hey, I'm up 2 units.
Check that info, and that's going to be a massive
show. I am going to check that info. Thank you for that.
And that's why in the odds couple shows, we don't do that shit. 1 unit, so you can't do any chasing shenanigans.
That's right, we don't. And guess what? Guess who heated up the ice? I said it yesterday. Dana Lane last night kicked ass in hockey. I went 1-1, but my one win was +192 on a puck line that covered. So I came out positive last night as well.
Nice. No, I love handicapping hockey. I wish I had time to do it with you guys.
It's not enough hours for you. Yeah, you got to break down Stony Brook and shit like that.
All right, so I guess that's about it. We can give our top plays. I already said mine would be Weber State -16 over Idaho State, and yours would be what?
Mine's going to be for college. I'm going with Yale.
For college or whatever you can give anything. All right, you can give that. Let's give it.
Nick Tim on the Hula Hangout, he says he actually won. So Like I said.
Oh, he did win.
Yeah.
He won. Okay, Scotty won.
That,
Thank you. Because I don't have the stats in front of me. I know he lost another one, but he won that one. That's great. That'll pump him up too. Good job. Thank you for that, buddy. That's some great viewers out there. What a freaking team.
Yes. All right, so I guess that's about it. It's a small card. Do we want to say anything else about
I want to ask you something because, you know, you had the migraine. Mama was tired. We didn't get nowhere near as many chicks picks as we could have. So I'm going to put you on the spot and wonder, before Super Bowl, if you'll, after work from time to time.
I don't know how to talk to chicks, Mike Renner. I can't.
Bullshit. I watched you talk to chicks. It was off camera.
I can talk to chicks.
Good. We're definitely going to hit a couple spots.
Okay.
I know I am. I'm going to drag you along. So.
We'll hit a couple spots. Hit a couple spots. No, I know.
And I'm feeling good about the bounce back, guys. I'm telling you, it's just the ebb and the flows. Again, this is a marathon. This is no sprint involved. So with that, I'm getting back confident, Pete. I know you are. Super Bowl. Ooh, buddy. I still like that under, by the way. 58.5. I'm liking that under more and more every day.
We shall see. We shall see. I haven't checked, but I'm assuming definitely. I don't think these lines are going to move.
Even the total. Okay.
Yeah, the side I'm almost sure is not going to move.
Budget.
And the total, nope, still 58.5 up there. Yeah, still 58.
Okay. I still like that. And tune in this week. We're going to be.
Although, look at this. The public books. Sports Interaction and Bodog. SIA has 59. Bodog has 59.5, which means that they're taking a lot of public action on the over because that's why they're giving those numbers. So that tells you right there the public is on the over. All right, so let's see.
Good about that. Make sure you tune in this week.
Oh, I didn't have the time to look at the totals for the college basketball game. Sorry about that.
Detroit's in college. When
there's no overnight lines for totals, I don't have time to look at them.
Natalie Rystrom as hot in person she is in her baby.
Yes, of course she is. Okay. She's actually a little hotter, and she's cool as hell, and she's fun, and she's going to Punta Cana with us. My God, we got a new nickname for her. Do you know what a new nickname is?
There was like 15 jokes I could have made. I was like, which one do I want to make? And I was like, I won't make any of them.
Well, guess what? You know what Dennis gave her a new nickname? It's Clutch Rystrom. She burns clutches out on a car like it's nobody's business. Okay. Man, my God, she's in Tyler. Tyler, how do you say Tyler? You know, for repair at the mechanic shop here. Taller. What's that mean? Taller. That should be it. Taller.
All right.
Taller Rystrom.
Okay, that sounds good, Mike Brenner. I guess that just about wraps it up. We'll be back on Monday for the Monday live show.
Hey, but guess what? Make sure you tune in because this afternoon we're going to be shooting an odds couple show for college and for NBA for Saturday. Because I'm telling you, Pete, I'm getting back on track. I'm getting back on that horse, baby.
Hashtag ask SPR.
Hashtag ask SPR. Keep it clean, but other
you
than
like
that,
you like those pictures of us? I kind of like that. That's
good. All right.
See, you did that.
Okay. Yeah.
Talented as hell. But we have a talented edited team here. I got to throw some props their way, by the way.
For sure. And remember, pay for talent. All right. That's it. And we'll be back on Monday.
Hey, you want to go to the beach?
No.